Hello friends, my name is Abhay Kulkarni and today's our topic of discussion is what is multithreading and today's date is 27th July. So let's start the video. So first we will see what is uniprogramming. So as we know in the earlier computers, digital computers, if one program is being executed, another program is being stopped. So what does it means? That is if one program is executed after the second program will be executed. So this is called as a uniprogramming. So the main disadvantage for the uniprogramming is that it takes the much time, important time about the CPU. Next we are going to discuss about what is multiprogramming. So as of the uniprogramming, multiprogramming is almost different. So in here, if one program is executing, parallelly another program is also executing. So this is multiprogramming. That means the CPU utilization time is much increases and the efficiency of the CPU is much higher. So these multiprogramming and uniprogramming were earlier days, and nowadays we have been seeing a lot concept is called as a multitasking. So let me revise a multitasking. So what is multitasking? If you are working on the PowerPoint project and at the same time if you are opened the Word document file in our laptops, so at a time two or three windows are open, tabs are open, so this is called as a multitasking. So the same is applicable for the multi-threading also in the Java. So what is multi-threading? Multi-threading in a Java is a feature provided by the Java by which we can concurrently run two or more parts of the program in order to make the most use of the CPU time utilization. So each part is called as a thread. So combinedly it is called as a multi-threading. So it is multi-threading is basically used to uh, concurrently run the parts of the program so that utilization of the CPU is mostly achieved. So this is multi-threading in Java. So let me revise once again. Multi-threading is can be uh, divided into parts like multi-threading created by the java.lang dot runnable interface, and multi-threading can be created by the java dot thread. So first we are going to discuss is how we can create the threads by the two processes. So the first process is by creating the extending the thread class. So when we are extending the thread class, we are what we are doing is that we are override the run method. So whatever the runnable methods that present inside the after the extending the thread class, we are run the methods, and inside the run methods the threads are searching for the run method and the run method will execute. So the next thread next type about the thread creation is extending the Java runnable interface package. So this thread can be created by using in the interface where the implementation of the interface is possible, and after the object creation of the run object, the object will be overwritten. So these are the two types. First one is by extending the thread class, and the second one is by using the runnable interface. So now we are going to discuss about some important methods about multi-threading. So let's start one by one. The first we are going to discuss is start. So if we have two threads T1 and T2, and if we create T1 dot start, that means the thread 1 will start and it search for the run method. For example, T2 dot start also, if we are starting the T1 T2 thread, it goes to search about the run method, and the program inside the run method will be executed. Next we are going to discuss is run method. After the start method, the threads are searching for the run method. The program inside the run method will be executed. So this is the run method. Next we are going to discuss is sleep. As the name suggests, the sleep method in the thread is used to temporarily die the thread. So for example, if I have to make the thread die for a 1 millisecond, then what I will do is that thread dot sleep 1000. So it pauses, or you can say it will die for 1 millisecond. Next we are going to discuss is current thread. So what does current thread method means? It returns the reference of the currently executing thread. So this is the current thread method. Next we are going to discuss is join method. What does the join method means? Is that if you are having the two threads, for example T1 and the T2, if you start the T1 method, your T1 thread, and next you are having the T1 dot join, the what does join do is that it temporarily suspend the currently executing thread. So if we make the T1 dot start after the T1 dot join, so that it currently suspended the T1 thread. So this is all about the join. Next we are going to discuss is get priorities and set priorities. So what does priority means to the scheduler? So the priorities are the uses by the scheduler, that scheduler decides which thread is going to have the highest priority and which thread is going to have the lowest priority. So here in the scheduler, the 1 being the lowest priority, 5 being the medium priority, and the 10 being the highest priority. So what does get priority do is that it sets the priority. Get T1 dot get priority 5. So the T1 thread is having the priority number 5. So the set priority is that it sets the priority. As of now, the get priority will get only the priorities of the respected thread. So this is all about the get priority and set priority. Next we are going to discuss about the get name and the set name. As the name suggests, the set name will set the name for your thread. For example, I have to set the name for for T1 thread, so that is thread 1. I will set name T1 dot set name thread 1. So the T1 thread will have the name thread 1, and the same I will get the get name. If I print the sysout get name T1 dot get name, I will have the thread 1 as the answer. Next we are going to discuss is suspend method. So what does suspend method do inside the multi-threading is that the suspend method temporarily suspend a particular thread. So for example, if I have to suspend my T1 thread after the 5 iterations, I will do T1 dot suspend. So it suspend the T1 thread temporarily. After that, the next method is resume method. So what does the resume method do is that it activates or it resumes the currently executing thread. So here if I do T1 dot resume, it resumes or awaken the T1 thread. Next method is stop method. So what does the stop method do is that, as the name suggests, if I have to stop the thread 1, that is T1 method, temporarily, what I will do is that T1 dot stop. So it stops the currently executing thread. Next is destroy method. So what does destroy method do is that if I have to destroy the T1 thread, what I will do is that T1 dot destroy. So it destroys the thread completely. Next method, as the serialization, next method will be the is alive method. So if I do T1 dot is alive, it will be true or false. So what does is alive method do is that if your thread is currently active or not, so this gives the true and false methods. So this is the all about the is alive. Next we are going to discuss is interrupted method. So as the name suggests, it suggests you that whether your thread is interrupted or not. Next method is interrupted. Whether your thread is being interrupted by the interrupt subgroups is differ by the is interrupted. So next is yield method. So what does yield method do is that it temporarily pauses the self-executing method and allows JVM to ignore itself. So this is all about the yield method. Yeah. So this is all about the methods of the multi-threading. So let me revise once again what we will saw. So first we have discussed about the uniprogramming. Next we are discussed about the multi-programming, and next multi-threading, the threading concepts and the threading creation by the two types and the various methods of the multi-threading. So thank you for the today.